Hey, this is Chris Allison, and I've got a camera here. Some people have been asking about how to pack it up, unpack it, so I figured I'd run through some things. And alright, so this is the first level. This is the base of the camera. You're going to want to put it in with these guys facing down. It imprints into the foam pretty well and keeps extra pressure off of it. This is a package of some extra parts. This here goes to the face mount, holds the chin rest in place. And this piece here, you can see it. This piece here goes in the front of the camera, blocks the LEDs or the fiber optics from flashing into the eye. So I'll explain that in just a minute. Then this piece here comes off. You'll notice that there's a cutout. The cutout here, it goes to the flash. See, the flash is sticking out just a little bit. This cutout here makes sure that the flash isn't pressed on too hard. And this is the face mount part. There's a screw on the bottom. I always tend to put the screw in there to keep things all together. The chin rest is going to go in there. And might as well take it out now, I guess. There we go. This little screw thing here screws into that hole. I'll show you why in just a minute. Then this foam here comes out. You put it aside. It's all cut out. This here's the macro focusing rail. It's got some indents in here so that everything packs up well and is stabilized. This part here obviously goes on top of the camera, and this holds the face cradle. In here we have the chin rest. The chin rest is going to go in here. That screw holds it in place. For a person with a short face, you can lift it up. With a person with a long face, you can let it down, so it's adjustable. It has a nice nylon tip here. Don't know if you can see it or not, but that nylon tip makes a nice solid connection without creating any scratches. It's very comfortable. This macro focusing rail is going to go into the base plate. Again, it has a screw in it there, which you can take out with this Allen wrench. This Allen wrench slides in. You unscrew and screw it together. So we have batteries. So I always like having extra batteries. These are Duracell chargeable batteries. So there's a set here that's ready to go. You can keep it plugged into the wall. This just plugs into the wall. You'll see some lights light up. To charge it, when it's finished charging, you'll see green lights there. Now the camera itself here comes packed with all of the batteries that you're going to need to run it. This here's a battery charger for the camera. And I'll show you where those batteries are in a second. This here is a battery pack, holds two AA batteries. This door slides. It does. Here we go. Slides back and in on a little groove. And there we go, like there. There's I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's a little notch there and a little notch there. Clicks together, as you probably heard. So the way I get the camera out, I just lift this up, pull the camera out like that. And so when things are being stored, you can just all put it together like this. Close the case, and you're good to go. Now, there are a couple of things you're going to want to pay attention to as you are setting the camera up. One is this. That is a mount to keep the camera securely in place with the macro focusing rail. A couple of things with that. And on the very bottom, there's a safety lever. Now that safety lever makes it so if you bump this release, if the safety mechanism is in place, the camera won't fall out. So, in order to take the thing out, you take that little knob and push it all the way over to the side. That allows this to release, and it lets the plate come out. Now, when you need the plate on the camera to hold the camera in place on the stand. So the way you do that is there's a little screw here, and there's a place for the screw there. It's 1/4 20, and those are the thread sizes. So you want to screw it in place so that the base is exactly perpendicular to the bottom of the camera. So if you can see it or not, there's a line right here on the camera. You can use that as a reference guide to make this exactly flat and straight. And yeah, I might as well put it together. All right, I'll tell you what, I'll just put it together. It'll be easier to show some things. All right, so here's the base. This is set up for legs. So the legs will screw into this. This person just decided to get the long leg edition. Some people get short legs and some people get the desktop. This is a long leg example. And the way that it works to put it together is there's a couple of holes here. You can probably see those holes right there. I put the macro focusing rail on the hole that's closer into the center. There's no big reason for that. It's just my preference. So take the screw out with your Allen wrench. The way I do this is I tip it over and screw into the bottom. I want to make sure that it's pointed straight down in alignment with the sides of the plate, just like that. And then the face mount. Again, you pull the screw out. And put the screw in. Machine screw. You want to try to get this perpendicular. That looks pretty good to me. You also want to make sure, here we go, snug it down good and tight. Not too tight. You want to be able to get it apart. This part here and that part there is where the face goes in. All right, so we have a stand that's almost put together. Then we have your camera. So you're going to notice, and I might have mentioned already, that this mounting bracket here has a long side and a short side. I don't know, a long side and a short side. Now, the short side goes in this part of the bracket right there. And if you might notice here, there's a little button. When that button is depressed, the release mechanism is released and it clamps onto the camera. So what you want to make sure is that as you are putting the camera in here, that the short side goes on that side. This was put in backwards. So I'll turn it around. I'm aligning this line here with this edge there. Give it a good squeeze. And I'll pull this back a little bit. Put it in. Here, I'll tell you what, I'll do that again. So my hand's not blocking. But when that goes in there, and you push this side down, it automatically closes. Now you just give it a little push like that, and that'll keep it in place. The way that you focus this camera is that this arm here, or this little knob, moves the camera in and out. That's going to change the focus of the camera. So in order to focus the camera, you use this right here. Some people are used to using lenses to create focus. In this situation, you are not going to use the lens. As you can see, this collar here is moving. And that is in the manual focus mode. Now, if you push this collar forward and you spin it like this, well, the lens doesn't move because now you're in automatic focus and the camera is going to want to focus automatically. The challenge with that is that in some circumstances, the camera is going to want to focus on the cornea of the eye rather than the irides. The cornea is a little bit in front of the irides, so then the images can come out a little bit out of focus. So we want this to be latched in manual focus and the lens to be all the way forward. All the way, there's a little stop. You might hear that stop. And there you go. So, to put the battery pack for the focus lights on, put that there, and run this wire around here. Click it in there, and now when you turn this switch on, I don't know if you can see it or not, but then the lights go on in front. Those are focusing lights that allows you to see the irides better, so that as you are focusing and looking through the focus plane, you can actually see what's going on, or they actually call that the diopter or the viewfinder. So, so there you go with that. Now, so the camera is all set up and ready to go. If you want to take a look at this here, on this side right here, there's a dial. There's a little white dot and a dial. The way that the pictures are going to be taken with this system is you're going to line the white dot up with the M. M is in manual. You want it in manual. The camera is sent out all calibrated for certain parameters, which I guess I'll show you in just a minute. When you want to change from one eye, left eye, actually that would be the right eye, to the left eye, you move this little knob right here in the front, and that's going to move the camera to and fro. So one thing you're going to want to pay attention to is that you are going to want the camera directly in front of the eye. So the person that you are taking the image of their iris from is going to be looking directly straight forward, right out of the eye, down through this little hole right here where you're going to see a couple of lights, those little focus lights, as if they're looking through that hole to the very back of this sensor. So some challenges that a person could have is if the camera's not totally exactly on the sensor with the eye, then a person may then look a little bit to the side one way or the other so that they can look down to the hole. Now, given that the eye is slightly conical and if you're looking off to the side, that means that part of the eye is going to be closer, part of the eye is going to be further away because you have, it's like an angle like that. We want to avoid that because the depth of field, they call it depth of field. It's the amount of, it's the distance where everything is in focus. It's very, very, very tight in these iridolgy cameras. So when you take an eye and you cock it to the side just a little bit to look off to the side, part of the iris may be out of focus. We don't like that. So make sure the eye is looking directly forward, directly down the barrel of the camera. That way that the focal plane is perpendicular and you'll get a good clean image every time. So you want to also make sure that the forehead is right up against this foam piece right here. Sometimes people, they won't have their forehead up in here and the head kind of moves in space just a little bit. If there's any movement to and fro in the head, even if it seems like it's just a tiny little bit, inevitably it's going to affect the quality of your images. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the forehead is right here, that the chin is all the way in, that the head is very stable, and that's going to give you the best images. Okay, so I guess we'll talk about this, I guess. A little bit more of an in-depth video than I intended, but well, I guess we're here now. This is the metal piece. It's magnetized. It's got powder coating on it. It will sit here and go over the focus lights. So now the focus lights can come out. You can still see the irides. The reason for that is this. Sometimes people like to take images with the central lighting. The central lighting means that you're using the fiber optics, bottom and top fiber optics and side lights. I mean focus lights, excuse me. Focus lights and fiber optics. And so when these little caps are on the side pieces, the light is going to come out of the center. That is going to be the central lighting. In most iRides, it is set up so that the light shines inside the pupil rather than on the iRides. Many people really like that because you get the whole vision of the iris without any obscuration from lights that are shining in it. If a person wants or desires to take side light pictures, you put this piece here on. That's going to block the light in the center. You can pull these little caps here off. Those little caps now are going to let the light come out from the side. Now if the iris is here, these are going to shine in the iris. It's going to illuminate the iris, and you're going to have two little white dots in there. Sometimes with very, very dark eyes, the trick is to illuminate the iRides as best as possible. With very, very dark eyes, sometimes it's easier to illuminate it with the side lighting. It's virtually never a problem with blue eyes or light eyes, but it's a handy trick with very dark eyes. So there you go with that. So you're never going to want to try to take a picture with the side caps on and this on, because then the light never comes out and the pictures are going to be dark. And you end up calling me up saying, hey, the flash doesn't work, but it does. You got to have this off to take central focus, central lighting. You want these guys off when you're taking side focus lighting, side lighting, and that's the way that goes. Okay, so we have the autofocus, we have the battery pack, we have, I guess I'll talk about that. All right, and we'll pull this off here, pull that off there. There's a collar. I guess I'm gonna pull this off here. Okay. There on the flash, this is the flash unit. This is how you turn the flash unit on right there. You're gonna notice that a little red light is gonna come on. There it is right there, the red light. That means it's ready to go. Go take a picture. So it's on an automatic timer, so it will shut off over a period of time. But when you're not using it, you turn it off. There's a little collar here. This little plastic collar will tighten the flash unit into the camera body. Now, why it's important to know about that is occasionally the flash may wiggle back and lose the contact in this, what they call a hot shoe. So if your flash, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be flashing, just unscrew this little collar, pull it off, rub this a little bit, put that back in, all the way. You can push your finger here to make sure it's all the way into that shoe. They call that mount a shoe. And you screw this little collar back down again. It does not have to be really tight. Matter of fact, I recommend that it's not really tight. Give it a squeeze, moderately tight, everything is in place. Now you get a good contact there. So when you go to take a picture and you go, there you go, good contact, everything works. So on the back of the camera, you're gonna notice this here. This is the shutter speed. I generally like 200. That's the f-stop. The side light and the central light is oftentimes calibrated a little bit differently. So you might have a number for the side light compared to the focus light. I said that again. The side light compared to the central lighting. And this is the ISO, which is how sensitive the sensor is. So generally speaking, for most of the cameras that go out of here, the central lighting is going to be somewhere around f13 or 14, and the side lighting is going to be somewhere between f10 and f11. So there you go with that. Okay, if you want to take a picture, all right, it's going to come up. Well, okay, it's not much of a picture because I took a picture of my hand there. Oh, I did exactly what I told you not to do. I had this on, so there, we'll try that one more time. All right, here we go. I got a picture of my hand there. So you'll see the RGB there, and when you're looking at, I've already talked about that. We don't need to change any of the movie settings or any of that kind of thing. So I guess at this point, I've done a separate video on this right here called the diopter. This little diopter needs to be adjusted to your eye. There's a little knob on the side. You can hear it. I think you can probably hear that. That little knob will adjust your eye to this. There's a separate video on that which you can watch to have a better idea of what's going on. Okay, so I guess I will show you the batteries here. When the batteries of the flash unit run out, take it off, and then you can slide this to the side. And then you're going to find a couple of AA batteries in there. There's an imprint in the housing, which show you which way the batteries go. I like to pull this back just a little bit to make it easier to take on and off. You line up the plate here with the shoe, push it in here, make sure it's all the way forward, all the way into the shoe. Give this a gentle snug down. I always like to make this go all the way forward. And now we turn the flash unit off, turn the camera off, and we're ready to pack it back up again. So, all right, I tend to put the central lighting cover in the little bag. I also tend to put the screw that holds the chin rest also in the bag. It's easier to keep everything together that way. All right, so I'm going to pack it up. There are other videos where this is explained too, which you probably got in an email from me. Take this out too. Okay, so what do? The first thing you do before putting it in the case, you must take this off. If you put it in like this, the flash is going to be sitting too high. When the case goes on the top, you're going to crush the flash. Maybe it'll break, maybe it won't. But I won't be happy if you break it. Neither will you. So, pull this off. Now, the camera sits right in there just the way it's supposed to. And you can take this piece, put it right back into the macro focusing rail. Small side goes on that side. Push it down, give it a clamp. Now you're good to go. Then, this foam piece goes back down. You can take the chin rest out, go right there. These two battery packs, one there, doesn't matter if you put that forward, that one back, doesn't matter either way you want to go, it's just fine. And I take this here and wrap it around like that. I put it in this hole. Now it stays stable and flush. I don't know if you can see this, actually. Okay. Allen wrench. Unscrew. I'm going to have a hold of this so it doesn't fall down. Like I said, I always like to put the screws back in. That way there you know where it is. Now, the way this goes back in, this goes there, this goes there, and you're going to want to have this adjusted all the way forward, so this is in alignment here, and it goes in. It does, yep. Wait a second. Yes, it does. What is going on with that? Like that. Okay. And you're going to want to make sure that this piece here goes all the way down and hits the bottom of the case. Okay, now it is. So you adjust it so it's relatively flat and even. That goes all the way to the bottom of the case. That way there it gives you some room into the foam. Then take face mount off. Come on, get in there. Goes. Now we're all done with the screws, so that's going to go there. This top foam goes on top. It's all cut out, as you can see. This is all cut out for that. That's cut out for that. Everything else looks like it's in there. Then we're going to put face mount. Now again, you're going to notice there's a cutout here. That cutout should match here. Don't do that. You want to make sure the cutout is here. Why? Because this sits just a little bit above the foam, and I prefer not to have too much pressure on it from these little nipples. You want to have it cut out so that it doesn't crush the flash. So that goes there like that. Again, you're going to put these silver things down here. You can take this pack of plastic pieces or a plastic bag with all the pieces in it, and then there you go, ready to go. So there you have the unpacking and some information about the camera and what it does. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I'm very happy to help you in whatever ways that I can. And so, hope you're having a great day. Hope you found it educational, a little fun, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.